Hello and welcome to the Approved Guy channel. I'm Sebastian Boyer, the Approved Guy. And on this video, we have a special guest with us, Mark Holloway, CEO and founder of Property Stewards, based out of Tiger, Georgia. Property Stewards is an amazing business opportunity for anyone who's thinking about starting or moving into a franchise. This is a franchise opportunity where you're not going to be a property management company. You're not going to be a caretaker, but you're going to be something in the middle where you have a unique niche market that is untapped, untouched to service clients with their getaway homes that want someone that they can trust to take care of their properties, their home away from home. Without further ado, let's get right to it. Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you, Sebastian?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time today to join us and to share your knowledge, experience, and your amazing opportunity with us. Mark, if you would please just give us a little background on Property Stewards. How did it all start, if you would?
We had the opportunity back in 2007 to move up here to the mountains of Georgia. We're about 2 hours north of Atlanta, the southeast, and we're in the last county in Georgia. And in 2007, we had the opportunity to move up here, and it was a leap of faith. I had two teenagers at the time. My wife and I have been married going on 44 years. She's still very much my girlfriend, and we love doing everything together and co-founding this company. And in 2007, we sold a home in South Georgia and moved up here, bought a home up on a ridge line. And I just noticed some green mold on the house and didn't really know how I was going to feed my family. We were really reinventing ourselves. We had been up to this area, um, backpacking and vacationing. And I decided to go buy a really decent pressure washer. And so I started washing my house and inadvertently started stripping off the old stain. And before I was done, I had exposed all this beautiful cedar, and the home was just really brilliant. And there was this older gentleman driving by, picking up his golfing buddy up the mountain, and he kept watching our home get transformed. And one day I got this phone call from Florida from this very successful orthopedic surgeon. He's still a surgeon today. And I thought it was a prank call. He says, "Can you make my home look like yours?" And I thought it was one of my buddies that knew we had moved up here was pranking me and knew that I bought a pressure washer. I said, "Well, what are you talking about?" He says, "Didn't you just refinish your home?" I said, "Yeah, I sure did." He says, "I have a cabin in Tiger, Georgia. Aren't you in Tiger?" I said, "I sure am." And that would begin what would become a specialty in this area. We became known as the company that specializes in refinishing log homes. And it was just an amazing start to our company. And as time went by, even that summer, the end of that summer, we pressure washed a home on the lake. And we have three beautiful luxury lakes up here, up in the mountains, with a lot of folks, nice folks that have nice getaway homes. And we washed this one lady's home. And then she called me not too long after and she said, "Can you take care of my home?" And I looked at her like a calf at a new gate. I was like, what are you talking about?" And she says, "Well, I just need you to walk through my home and make sure everything looks right and sounds right and feels right." I said, "I can do that. How often you want us to do that?" She says, I don't know, maybe twice a month." And what I didn't know was she was helping us build our business model even way, way back then. And it would be years and years later that we would call folks like her property stewards, A-list clients. And so the heartbeat of our company are A-list clients. So these are clients who don't live in their homes. They live somewhere else. We don't call these homes second homes. In fact, this very lady, one day I told her a while later, I said, "It's such an honor to take care of your second home." And she says, "Mark, out of curiosity, what do you consider my second home?" And I said, "Uh-oh, I think I just stepped in it." "What do you mean?" She says, "Home in Virginia. I have a horse farm outside of Athens, Georgia. I have a home in Florida, and I have this home up there in the mountains of Georgia. Which one do you consider our second home?" I said, "Ma'am, I will never make that mistake ever again." So we disbanded the use of that second home concept altogether because you'll confuse some of your clients. So, and we don't use the term vacation home because vacation home sounds too close to vacation rental. And a lot of the caliber of our clients, they don't even see themselves as going on vacation. They just go to their other home. And so those, from a semantic standpoint, those are very important things to really consider. So we camp out at getaway home because they really do just get away. They get away from stress, or they get away from a hurricane, or they get away, or they just want to change the scenery. Now, they may go to Europe for a month and they may consider themselves on vacation at that point, but typically we just stay with getaway home. So we start taking care of, her name is Lynn. We started taking care of Lynn's home. And if you know anything about the mountain trout, they stay right in their lane and they stay right there in the stream, and all the food comes to them. And when I look back, we don't go knocking on doors. We take care of all of the elements that are painful for having a home far away. We take care of everything from the roof to the floor, to the jet skis, to the boats, to the dogs that need to get groomed, and everything in between. We take your pain away. And so these clients started finding their way to us because the pain is already there.
Right.
And our clients typically find their way to us. And so I started a company called Fresh Start of Raven. We live in Raven County. And we started getting more and more clients, like one-off clients, just doing work for them, because I'm not afraid to work hard. I'm the son of a Green Beret, a decorated career officer, and I'm not afraid to work hard and show up early. And I started building a lot of clients, but we're not really a handyman company. And so more and more clients started coming, and we decided that we needed to start taking care of these clients' homes. And so we started a second LLC, Fresh Start Property Stewards. And we were very intentional. We didn't want to go with Fresh Start Property Management, so we really prayed about it and dove deep, and we're very intentional. And we came up with the word steward. And so property stewards. So we steward your home and your things as if they're ours. And that's a very critical, central piece to our business model and to who we are. It's why we get up every day and get excited to get after it. And then as time went by, we started onboarding more and more of these A-list clients. And then we got discovered by a franchise broker. And he said, there's nobody doing what we're doing in the country. He understands the home care industry. He's launched 300 franchises as a broker. And he said, nobody's doing what you're doing, how you do it. He discovered that we had 5 revenue streams. And I didn't even know to call them that. I'm a graduate from the University of Florida School of Journalism. I could write you essays on revenue streams, but don't ask me to explain what it is. I took one economics class and passed it. I took one accounting class and passed it. But beyond that, I didn't know what he was talking about. And so by the time that conversation was over, he had identified 5 revenue streams that we were operating and functioning in. I didn't even know it. And so he encouraged us to franchise. And that's a pretty involved and expensive process with the Federal Trade Commission. But in that process, we dropped Fresh Start. People thought we were a marriage counseling ministry, or we only hired ex-cons or folks trying to detox. And we were like, no, we give your home a fresh start. And so we had established ourselves enough, but we dropped Fresh Start, but we were already occupying the internet space of Fresh Start Property Stewards. And so we immediately bought propertystewards.com. So we own that. And we successfully trademarked our name, our artwork, our logo, and our slogan. We are your eyes, ears, and hands when you can't be. And that was a year process, very expensive, and quite a victory. And I just give God the glory, because we were told the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office was going to push back on the words property and stewards, because those are existing words and they're very common words, but they were unique enough combined together that the U.S. Patent Office and Trademark Office awarded us and approved all 3 of our applications. We are over the moon excited about protecting our brand in that department.
That is awesome. That's amazing. Property stewards. So you're located in Tiger, Georgia. You have 2 other locations, or you're occupying 2 other states. What are the other states?
So we have 3 locations. Our flagship location, where it all started, it's like the Dwarf House for Chick-fil-A, south of Atlanta, right here in Raven County. Clayton is the biggest city. And then we are also, almost immediately, we're an emerging franchise. Almost immediately, we awarded Charleston. So Property Stewards Charleston, and Property Jacksonville in Jacksonville, Florida.
Amazing.
And we're going to be, and already are, typically in what most folks would consider resort areas. And I can touch on that if you want to hear more.
Yeah, so
What
that's I want to understand. So, I mean, if you're just getting started as a franchise and this is a unique niche that you service, that you provide, we have so much ground to cover here, right? I mean, we have the entire United States, and is the opportunity available in every state, or is it only exclusive to your region?
I can answer that with two questions or two comments. One is wealthy people take care of their stuff, irrespective if there's a recession going on. And we have 17 years of experience to make that assessment. Wealthy people take care of their stuff. In fact, their getaway homes sometimes are more sentimental and more valuable to them than their main homes, because the main home is where the grind of life happens. But they go to their getaway home and the kids get together and it's just a fun time. There's usually not stress. And wealthy people take care of their stuff. And lots of times, wealthy people either don't want to or don't have the margin to take care of that stuff. Get the jet skis maintenance at the mechanic, at the marine mechanic, or get their hardwood floors refinished, or get their refrigerators replaced. They spend an inordinate amount of time chasing all of those things when they don't really have to. And we take that pain away. So wealthy people, they take care of their stuff. And number two, wealthy people want to be around some form of H2O. And I'm not being tricky with that, but H2O can be snow or it can be the ocean, an ocean setting. And so wealthy people want to be around rivers, lakes, the coast, or the mountains, or where there's snow. And we have figured out wherever there's a high density of getaway homes, and we know how to find those homes. We got some secret sauce on how we know where those folks are, using some public tax records that's very legal, but we know how to find them. So our business model works anywhere where those elements come into bearing. And typically behind, when you drive past a gated community, there's going to be a percentage of homes in that gated community that people don't live in. They live somewhere else.
I understand. Okay. So it's a wide open opportunity for a lot of growth and expansion. So even if I started off in one area, and if I'm a franchisee, is the area I get, is it exclusive to me, or do I have to compete with other franchisees?
You get two really important voices. First of all, you get to help draft what your territory will look like. And we're going to be careful to give you a robust enough territory that you can really flourish and grow. We're not going to let you become root bound where you get stifled, but we're not going to award you a territory so large, like awarding you 5 gold mines, and you can't even work one gold mine because it's fruitful. Secondly, you get to have a voice in what the name is of that territory. And we don't use prepositions. So we're lean and clean in our business. And so it would be Property Stewards Vale, or Property Stewards Charleston, Property Stewards Jacksonville. But if you live in that area already, let's say you lived in the Hilton Head area and you just think it makes perfect sense for it to be Property Stewards Hilton Head. But if there's a unique area that everybody in that community, the folks that don't live there, they fly in their private jets, that you know that there is more of a catchphrase for that area, then we will let you have a voice in how you build that territory and its name and its brand recognition.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I get exclusivity in an area that you customize together. Even the name, I get to be a part of that decision making. It'll be
Yep.
an add-on to the brand, Property Stewards blank, which is what I'm going to own, right? And what are we talking about as far as a startup cost for a new franchisee? What's the minimum entry level?
First of all, we do not require in our franchise disclosure document, we spell that out. We do not require you to have a brick and mortar because we're a service based company in that industry. We flourished for 13 years. My wife and I did what we do out of our sunroom, just the two of us, caring for all of these clients. It's fascinating when I think back to how we got started with one single pressure washer and working out of our sunroom. But even today, we don't require any of our franchisees to have a brick and mortar. And that's huge. There's no capital outlay to build a building, or there's no $5,000 or $10,000 a month office rent. You can do what you need to do out of your home. We started out from the beginning, and still to this day, we rent a small little warehouse space to store some equipment, and that's it. Now, today, because we're a franchisor, we have offices in downtown, and it's a beautiful mountain community that's thriving. And we have a presence downtown. But all of your clients, all of your encounters with your A-list clients, and these are folks that have managed their money well and to the point they can afford a getaway home or multiple getaway homes. 99.9% of all of your encounters with them are going to be sitting on their couch in their living room for the first time, where they're interviewing you and you're also interviewing them to see if you're going to be a good fit. Today, my son-in-law, who's our general manager, he and I met with a very successful man who has a home up here, and we met with him, and he's been around the block. And yet when we unpack our business model, he's like, you'll do all of that. And he's been through a series of caretakers that have promised him stuff, but we do caretaking so differently. And some of those things are proprietary and definitely in our secret sauce, but you can thrive in those communities. And $150,000, basically 45,000 is our franchise fee. And then pretty much the rest of that, you don't write a check to us for 150,000. It's just the franchise fee. And then the other 100,000, or right about 100,000, we need to see that in your bank account. We need to see that you're liquid, because out of that, there's a salary, there's a budget in that for that 100,000. There's a budget for you to pay yourself a salary, to get a vehicle wrapped, to buy your swag, your company clothes, to do your marketing spend. We haven't, there's no stone left unturned in that 100,000.
Amazing. And I want to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to help finance your potential franchise.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And just if you're watching, there's several options available for everything from a self-directed 401k rollover to leveraging unsecured debt if you have good credit. So there's multiple angles to be able to access the funding you need to bridge or to cover the cost of a franchise. Most franchises that I've seen are somewhere around $300,000 to $350,000 on the entry level. And this is a very lower price point entry level for a huge opportunity in a niche market that is untapped, untouched, that you can really grow and expand to more and more territory over time. So one of the things that was real popular today in the business world, everyone's looking to make passive income, right? How passive is this? Is this something where I'm going to be working full-time as an owner here? Or when can I sit back, relax and say, yeah, this is passive income? Does that exist in this opportunity?
It does. Let me start by saying, because I get asked this question, how fast before we can be making a profit? And my answer is a little bit sarcastic. It's how hard do you want to work? If I was selling pizzas, how many pizzas do I have to sell? I don't have an answer to that question. You've got to be probably where there's a lot of traffic going by. And I'm going to show my age here, but if I sell door-to-door encyclopedias back in the day, what do I got to do? How many doors do you want to knock on? How hard do you want to work? But we have 5 revenue streams from just one client, and that's very proprietary. And Sebastian can get into that as far as if you want to know more, how we can really share with you and pull the curtain back. I love doing that. It involves you just signing an NDA, but if you work hard, you start having people pay you, and you don't even have to be in the country. We know how to show you how to set up our system, taking care of all of these homes. When you have a lot of people sending you checks each month, that starts to feel like and have a really nice vibe to passive income. And that's one of our 5 revenue streams. And the federal government, the Federal Trade Commission governs and regulates the franchising world. And there's some guardrails along the highway that they put up. And I'm so thankful for that. They don't allow us to make a lot of pie in the sky promises like multi-level marketing people do. And so I'm not interested at this point. I can, once we get into the conversation, I can show you what we've done financially and the growth that we have been on. It's pretty exciting. All we do is add clients. And so that part's really exciting to me, but we're not allowed to make you any promises of what kind of money you can make. But I can tell you this, that in a recession in 2009, we had been in business 3 years, and my wife and I went on 6 weeks of vacation, and we were making money while we were gone. I've got a brother-in-law in the oil business and the cattle business in West Texas. And he told me one day he makes money while he's asleep. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. He says, the cows are eating when he's asleep. and his cows are eating when he's at lunch, or his cows are always eating, getting bigger and growing in value. And I caught the vision of what that meant to be making money while I was asleep. And getting back to warnings, to tell you that you're going to take 6 weeks vacation your first year or within your third year, it's all up to you. Once you put our systems into place, and that sounds so programmed, but we have very organic things that we have written. We have a 12-step playbook that are things that we don't see anybody else doing to draw. Oh, the A-list clients are already looking for us because they have a lot of pain in their life and they're already looking for us. And we know how to prove that. And they're already finding us. And if you execute the things that we do, you will start onboarding your A-list clients. And again, these are folks that own getaway homes that they don't live in. They live somewhere else. That we can coach you. If you become a franchisee, for example, you come with us, stay with us for a week, and then we come to your territory for an additional week. And we teach you things like how to go play in traffic. Wherever there are people, go where those people are. Go play in traffic. If there's a ribbon cutting, get yourself to that ribbon cutting. Get your swag, get your name out, and get that brand recognition going early and fast. And we have some really cool things that we know how to tell you how to find, get in those rivers and how to paddle in those rivers and watch those clients come to you. Because a lot of folks at a really high level monetarily, they think they have to do all the heavy lifting when they get to their getaway home, and they burn half of their week waiting on contractors to show up and stuff that didn't get done. And outside our office, in our lobby, I have a bottle of Tylenol on an ancient shelf that I built from 1940s, maybe antique, not ancient, barnwood. And that bottle, it really speaks, it really communicates our message, that bottle of Tylenol, and it reminds our whole team to stay the course. And that is, we take your pain away of owning a getaway home. But I know that might be maybe a very detailed answer of our cost, but it's really the all-in price is half the cost of a starter home in our community. Let that sink in a minute. In our community up here in the mountains, a $300,000 purchase is not going to buy you much of a home anymore. And our all-in price is half of the cost of a starter home in our community. And I don't know about other communities where you are, Sebastian, but 300,000 really doesn't buy much. And half of that is our all-in price. And of that all-in price, 100,000 we don't touch. That's a functioning budget. That's capital for you to get up and running. And I think it's a bargain. And I know I'm very prejudiced, but I'm very passionate about what I do, and I don't ever want to stop.
Awesome. That's amazing. So it's a portable entry level with a huge opportunity. Let's think of this through. So now I know some of the things you said, like the 5 pillars, or there's some proprietary secret sauce that you can't divulge on publicly like that. And so if you're watching this video and you really want to learn more, you want to know what is this secret sauce and really what does this opportunity look like, there's going to be a link in the description below so that you can schedule a call with Mark and you can learn more. You just have to sign an NDA and he'll be able to share with you a little bit more in-depth details of what the vision looks like, what the opportunity looks like, potential income. These are things that you can get from him on a one-on-one, but not on a YouTube video. So make sure you take advantage of that. And then of course, perhaps you're someone watching this video who has a getaway home and you're thinking, you know what, I'd love to have Property Stewards be able to help me care for my home. I'd love to have that peace of mind to know that they're on my side. Definitely reach out to Mark. I'd like you to take a chance now, if you would, to just speak to the audience, share whatever's on your heart, whatever it's just you and the audience, whatever you would want to speak to them, say to them about the opportunity. And beyond that, the floor is yours.
I want to convey to you just how passionate I am about the company that we started, fell backwards into in 2007, which today is Property Stewards. We were very intentional. We are a people, we're a team that really takes it seriously about stewarding stuff that's not ours, and really respecting and being very humbly honored with taking care of our clients' homes. And I think we communicate that very effectively from the moment we meet our clients. They understand just by putting the word stewards into our company name, it really communicates that we really do want to treat your stuff as if it's your own. if it's our own stuff. And so we deliver that care, I think, effectively, and we can quantitatively prove that we do that with the clients, that the things that they say about us and about our company, that we really are emerging in the way we do what we do. We're not looking at them as a money grab. Instead, we want to take care of their stuff. And that's really turned out into 5 revenue streams that we didn't even know to call them that. And that part, to me, is still mind boggling. But beyond that, I would like to maybe speak from my heart to yours, that because of the proliferation of social media and so many different platforms, you can take a really cool concept and it becomes cliche, or you can take a really true element of life and it becomes so popular that you can fall into a trap of, okay, fine, I understand that. What have you done for me lately? And unfortunately, you can lose the value of a lot of things that are really important. And so I would want to challenge you to find out what your destiny is, find out what your God wiring is, find out why you really are fearfully and wonderfully made. And don't wait till you're 90. Don't wait till your days and your weeks turn into months and turn into years and then turn into decades of your body of work. And you really missed it. And if you really want to be safe, then stay in that job that really may be a dead end job. And we're not looking for those folks. We're not looking for folks that just want their government check and want to be told when they can go on vacation or limited to how often they can go on vacation. We're looking for folks that are entrepreneurs. And if there's an entrepreneurial fire in you, find it, flame it, fan it, and find out why you're here, because we're all here for a purpose. Where life is a vapor, life is just a very thin mist. And when it's over, and so you have been given an opportunity to live out your days on this planet. And it's absolutely phenomenal. We're expecting our first grandchild. Our daughter and son-in-law are about to have their first child. And I'm probably in the greatest and most exciting season of my life. And I turned 65 this coming March. I don't plan to retire. I've got a lot of fuel in my tank, and I'm a distance runner. I am a passionate 10-year veteran of our search and rescue team, all volunteer. And I've got a bunch of different certifications. And I love, that's where my margin is. If the free time that I have, I volunteer serving our mountain community, rescuing folks that have outrun their skill set coming up here to the mountains in a lot of ways. And I have so much energy. I see my own body as a rented tuxedo that I'm going to have to turn back in. So I believe stewardship starts at something as fundamental as the space that I take up here on the planet, and even this oxygen and the space that I'm in right now. And I've got to turn my body back in. So I take really good care of my body. And I think the things that I have, I technically own a home. I own several properties, but I don't own them. I'm just getting to steward them. I'm just getting to take care of those things. This company of mine that my wife and I started and that our team is so invested in, it's something that I'm going to turn over, most likely generational wealth. I'm going to turn this over to my children and to my daughter and my son-in-law. And it's because I want to steward well the things that have come my way. The things that I have, I've worked hard for. And I want to remind you that you have something critically in common with Dave Ramsey and Jeff Bezos and Oprah Winfrey and Bill Gates and Elon Musk. They all have the same 24 hours in their day that you and I do. And so I would challenge you to steward well each day that's been given you and find out what your why is. Find out how you're wired. If you don't know how you're wired, spend some time alone with the king of the universe. Turn off social media, turn off your phone, get away to a place where you can be still and hear what your purpose is and what your destiny is, because that's when you're going to find out you're the happiest. That's where you're going to find out there's the most joy. That's where you're going to grab hold of the most of the abundant life that you can when you're walking in your wiring, when you're flowing in your function, and you're just walking in your destiny the way you're designed to be. So I'd chase after it. I'd race after it. I'd go after it. I'd get after it.
Amen. That's words of wisdom, ladies and gentlemen. Mark, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your wisdom, for your passion, for this amazing opportunity that you're presenting to the market. And I'm honored again to be a part of it in a small way to help folks with the financing piece if they need it. Again, folks, make sure if you want to connect with Mark, click the link in the description below. You can schedule a call with me as well. Mark, thank you again. Just hang tight. I'll be right back with you. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this video was of value to you. If it was, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and let YouTube know so that it gets pushed out to more people who can hear about this amazing opportunity. God bless you. Take great care. See you soon.